Hi everyone, it's February 1st. It's been a month since my last vlog. My last vlog was my airing of grievances on New Year's Eve, and I'm like, okay, on January 1st, I'm gonna be all glass half full, positivity. And then January 1st came and went. Apparently January 31st came and went, and here I am. So I will update you on a couple of things. I'll explain kind of why I went MIA for the past month. So first of all, I am, so it's February 1st, so I'm a little bit more than 5 months post-op. And I went to the orthopedic surgeon today. I had an MRI and an x-ray of my shoulder, because I'm still having shoulder issues, to see what was going on. The results of the x-ray were immediate when I saw the orthopedic surgeon, however long ago it was. I feel like it was after I did my last vlog, so I don't even know if I've mentioned that before. But it was under the recommendation of my physical therapist that I go see an orthopedic surgeon, because PT is getting me so far, but I still, like, left arm, like, good to go. I still feel stretching here. The physicalness, I'm not even going to go there. By physicalness, I mean, like, the symmetry of my shirt. It's ironic that I'm wearing a V-neck, and I have a V-neck bra on, too, because V-necks aren't working for me, because I feel like my boobs don't go perfectly symmetrical, but I know it takes time. And I don't want to fall into old habits, and that's a big part of why I didn't vlog in January. But anyway, my left arm is basically back to normal. I'm not even doing really any exercises for it, or minimal, at PT, because there's nothing that I really can't do with my left arm, which is awesome. They only took 2 lymph nodes out of my left side. I mean, granted, they had, my boobs were removed on both sides, but my right arm is in a spot where, like, I get up to here and I'm like, it's just like, it's stuck. It's just, if you took my arm and pulled it, I could probably, I swear, every time I do a vlog, my phone rings. Oh my gosh. I need to get rid of my landline. And it's always spam. Like, I don't know anyone in Kentucky. I'm just gonna let it ring out. Anyway. So I can lift my arm up. Shows you I haven't vlogged in a while, because my cuckoo clock is going off too. Oh my Lord. But it's super, super, super tight in here. So, like, here, it's like pliable. And I get up to here and it's just like, it's like stuck. If I take my other arm, like, I can pull it. It doesn't hurt. It's just, like, hard to pull it. But if I just do it with just, my right arm on its own, it's just like it's stuck. And anyway, so, like, I get to a certain point and it doesn't seem like it's progressing anymore, which is why she sent me to the orthopedic surgeon. So fast forward, x-ray was fine. It was like in and out, nothing bone structurally is wrong. Yay. They send me for an MRI, which I'm like, okay, whatever, no dye involved. But I have to say I was very, very triggered going in to have the MRI done, because the last time I had an MRI done was when it was supposed to be my baseline MRI for my dense breasts. And then kapow, I get the phone call the next day and, like, shit hits the fan, and here we are, 2 implants later. You can rewind for the rest of the story. So it was very, very triggering. I sat down the machine, like on the, whatever the heck you call it, that you sit on. I think I started crying. And she said to me, because, it's super loud, and she says, what kind of, you can have music on your headphones when they're doing the MRI. And she's like, what do you want us to play? And I'm like, I don't want you to play spa music, and I don't want you to play beach music, because those are the 2 things that were my go-tos before. But now, when, like, it just doesn't relax me at all to hear them, it actually stresses me out more. which probably will change my relationship with going to like the beach and relaxing by the water. So I said, can you put on like 70s disco? And she did, and it was like the Bee Gees playing, and oh my gosh, so much kitschy music. It was awesome, and it was distracting. Of course, it's like, you know, the background, you're like, bong, bong, bong. The MRI is super loud. So I have to say that it was very triggering, though, for me. And I didn't expect it to be like that because I've been in and out of doctor's offices so many times. But the MRI itself was how this whole thing started. And, well, I mean, you know, the turning point, I guess. So it was hard. The MRI part was hard. I actually did a vlog about it, and I deleted it. And I don't really delete my vlogs. I've only ever done that. Actually, I think it's the only vlog I've ever deleted. And in hindsight, I'm not even sure why I did. Anyway, so yeah, I tried to. I'll talk about the appointment, and then I'll talk about like why I've been in a weird place the past month. So I went in today, gave him the disc, you know, had the results, and there are no tears. I even wrote down like what he, I am still journaling. I did write down even what he said. The first thing he said was, your MRI looks great. And either I'm becoming unemotional or just like, I don't know. I still can't word sometimes. Just things don't faze me as much. So like for him to say like, your MRI looks great. I wasn't expecting to hear that. I was relieved to hear it, but I can't say I had some strong emotional reaction about it. Maybe I will like in another day or tonight or something. But like old Jen would be like, what? It's great. And I'd start like crying or something. None of that was there, which was weird because that's not usually how I am. I don't know. Yeah, so no tears. The x-ray, there's no issue with the bones. My bones are fine on my shoulder. No tears for anything. And it just confirmed that I have frozen shoulder, which my PT didn't think I had frozen shoulder, but apparently I do because there are no tears. I was almost certain he was going to tell me that I had a tear in there because I did have some like irritation before all this stuff happened, which he just said it's tendonitis. People have it, like whatever. Maybe I need to learn how to play tennis better. I don't know. But yeah, it's frozen shoulder. The capsule around your shoulder, around my shoulder, is thickened. Like usually the capsule, I have to Google this more. I'm fresh out of this appointment, so like you can Google all you want. I have to understand a little bit more. I just wrote stuff down. It's called adhesive capsulitis, which makes sense because adhesive, it feels like there's like crazy glue and I just have to like break through the crazy glue and I can't, you know, it's like Gorilla Glue and I just want to like pull and it's not pulling. And that's why I need to go to PT because now she's shifted how she's been doing PT. It's not so much, not that she was ever doing anything here, but like I'm able to even do I did a 3-pound dumbbell like the other day. I'm like, woohoo! For me, that's a big deal because I've been on a half a pound all this time when I've been doing bicep curls. And she put me on 3 pounds and I could do it. So yeah, it's adhesive capsulitis. The shoulder capsule, whatever, should be thin. And mine is just really thick. And not really thick, but it's thickened. And that's what frozen shoulder is. And he said that he, pretty much frozen shoulder for him is like primarily from breast cancer or mastectomy patients, especially people that are women who have had lymph node dissections. And again, I had 6 lymph nodes taken out of my right side. My left, I only had 2. So there's a lot less drama, you know, a lot less stuff done. My biggest tumor was on my right side. So, you know, more stuff done. And I don't know, maybe I have to look it up, but like, I feel like it's your body's way of protecting, you know, like you don't want to move your shoulder because it causes pain, but that also by not moving your shoulder, I guess that's what makes things like thicken up. and then, you know, you can't move it even if you want to. So there's like a balance between like, how much do you move it to get, seriously. Is there somebody else from Kentucky? Name unavailable. Oh my gosh. I had to get rid of my landline. That's a very old school thing. Like, I feel like I need to have it because, like, you just need a phone number. But I can't remember the last time I got a phone call that was actually for me. Like a real one. If it happens again, I'll throw it in the other room. But anyway, yeah, it feels, and then I lose my train of thought. It feels like there's like just glue there that's making it not move. So yeah, so the first thing to focus in on is getting your range of motion back. So his suggestion was, you know, is PT, well, his question for me was like, is PT working? Does it make you feel better? Does it really seem to have capped out? Is it making you feel worse? You know? And when she switched how she was doing stuff for PT, like she's really getting in there, and she's like, you know, kneading and like massaging all in my pit and moving my arm into places that I normally wouldn't be able to do it unassisted. And when I saw the orthopedic surgeon, he told me the first time, he said, he implied something about taking a break from physical therapy, not entirely, but like maybe just doing it once a week for a while and seeing how that is between now and between then and the next time that I saw him. And timing wise, I ended up skipping PT for almost a week. It was either a week and a half or almost 2 weeks. And that's not because of my shoulder. It was because of COVID things. Like, I think my son, a friend of his, had COVID, so he was in quarantine, but then he tested negative, and I'm not going to go over there, like, God forbid he does have it, but he didn't. Anyway, so I skipped a while, and I have to say, like, I have not been doing my exercises at home in that time, because I'm like, okay, give my body a break. Let's just pretend like nothing ever happened, and just go back to regular life. You know, use my arm for what I normally would use my arms for. And I guess the most impactful things with my arm are definitely doing dishes. I have like a hard stop with the dishes because you know, it's bending over. I'm tall, so I have to like bend over more. And the rubbing back and forth, it's a lot. Laundry, you know, throwing stuff in, pulling sleeves in and out, folding it when it's done, putting it away, all of that movement. It seems so simple and like everyday things, but they're things that I wasn't able to do comfortably. So I wasn't doing the wall slides. I wasn't doing the pulley. I'm like, let's take a break for this, you know, for now until we get the results back and see what's going on. And let's just like live life and see what happens. And honestly, I feel like that's what I was doing through January. I'm like, I don't, you know, yes, it's in the forefront. It's a new year. COVID's still around, which really sucks. But I kind of want to forget about cancer for a month. I just want to like not think about it. I just like want to go back to being Jen and just try to be as normal as I can, you know, of course with the pandemic thing, but that's almost like I'm used to that at this point with putting masks on and all that stuff. Actually, if I have marks still, I had marks on my face a few minutes before I logged on from my masks. Anyway, so I think that is part of why I didn't vlog in January. I'm like, I just want to, and that might have been why I erased that one when I had the MRI done. Because I'm like, I don't want to talk about it anymore. I don't want to talk about cancer anymore. Yes, I had it. And yes, I just signed up for another, like an exercise fundraiser thing for a breast cancer foundation where I'm supposed to walk 300,000 steps in the month of February. When I did the math on that and realized, wait a minute, that's like 10,000 steps a day if there were 30 days in February. I don't know if I'll reach that goal, but I will try. But I just wanted to not think about cancer. I just wanted to be. That's it. I just wanted to be, which was like rewind to my Canyon Ranch vlog. And that's what I did. And that's why I didn't vlog. So I'll come back to that. But So for right now, what the plan is for my shoulder is, you know, PT, I love PT. It's working for me. I was there last week, and tennis came up in conversation, and my physical therapist brought over her tennis racket, and I legit like started tearing up because I'm like, I just want to play tennis. I'm not really good at it. I just play it for fun, but I just want to play tennis. And it's winter, so it's kind of harder to do that. But she even said that I can, and seconded by the orthopedic surgeon that I can. But she suggested I use. They have these special balls that are like half deflated, so you don't need as much pressure to hit it. But she gave me the tennis racket, and she's like, "Why don't you just try swinging?" And I'm like, "Oh gosh, what did John teach me? I don't remember how to hold the racket anymore." And I did it, and I swung. I'm not gonna do it now because I'm a little stiff, but I could. I swung and like it whooshed, and then my backhand, which my backhand is not affected really at all because you know, I'm not lifting this arm from my backhand, so my backhand was great, and I'm like, I started tearing up. I was just so excited to be like normal again, yeah. And then I went home and I'm like, oh, look what I can do. And then like half hour later, my arm was like burning. That's a new thing. It was burning. It was like hot burning. And I'm like, okay, my body's saying to stop. So I did. But the tennis racket's still out in my room. Not hers, my own. So I'm going to keep going back for physical therapy. I'll have to talk to her tomorrow about scheduling, you know, how often to go. I think I'm going to go down to once a week for a bit. I did start NIA and IA. I was going to sign up for Zumba, but the virtual Zumba didn't have enough people that signed up for it. So they canceled it, which kind of sucks. So I signed up for NIA. NIA is like a fusion of like yoga and dance and martial arts and a bunch of stuff mixed together, but it's very flowy and lots of movement. Not like severe harsh movement at all. It's not jumpy. It's very flowy. So I did it, and obviously with modifications. If anything, the last time that I did it, the hardest thing I had was at the end. We were lying down on our backs, and from all the movement, lying down on my back felt like this weighed like 1 billion pounds. Right now, just as an FYI, my boobs have really, oh my God. Are you kidding me? Sorry. My boobs have been killing me. We've also had really bad weather here in the New England, so I don't know if the barometric pressure is part of that. So that's my plan. He also said to consider, don't need surgery or anything like that, because he did mention at one point that you can go in surgically to cut all of those webs apart that are making you tight. But it wasn't recommended that I need to have that done. He thinks that physical therapy and time will, you know, loosen everything up. The other thing he mentioned was injections, and I think needles. And I'm like, oh great, another needle. Ah! And they can do a ultrasound guided steroid shot in my shoulder. And he said like 95% of the people that have that, you know, are like, woohoo, and they're fine. One thing I forgot to ask him is how frequently I'd have to have that done. But one thing at a time. For right now, I'm like, let me just think about it. Honestly, I feel like I've been very protective about my body and what I can and can't do or will or won't do. And I don't really want another needle right now. I certainly won't do it in, July, I think is my next Semeta. If I were to do it, which I probably am, but I'm not going to do it right now. I have a follow-up with him in 6 weeks. So, you know, we'll see what happens. I'll talk to my physical therapist about it, and, you know, we'll see how things go. But just like the idea of another needle right now, I'm like, no, I don't want to do that to myself. I don't. So that's where I am physically, I guess, with stuff. Side effects, I did have my Lupron that I didn't vlog about last time. I think it was my 4th Lupron. Had a follow-up with my oncologist in the meantime about how things were going. You know, she said if the Zometa is really bad, when I have it in July, they'll reconsider whether to continue that. But she said she's, you know, almost certain that I won't have the side effects the second time that I had the first time. Because Lord knows I had a lot. My last Lupron, again, I felt like I had an ADD for like 2 days. It didn't kick in until a couple of days after the injection, which was interesting. I think I had it like on a Friday, and it was like on Sunday night and Monday when I started like being all jittery, my legs are shaking. I was super cold. It was just weird. Physically, I think that's pretty much it. I've been having a lot of foot cramps. Also, I know a side effect, they're annoying and they hurt. They don't last, but they hurt, and they do kind of stop you from life because you can't really walk as you're having a foot cramp. Fortunately, I am back working remotely. I should say fortunately, but I am working remotely right now, just for the short term, so that helps if I'm having a foot cramp, which they tend to happen at night anyway. So I'm not sleeping well at all, for whatever reason. Well, I know why. I'll get to that. The second half will be about the like mental health crap that's going on in my head right now, related to the whole cancer life, whatever. I'm not sleeping well at all. I mean, the coffee I'm having is decaf because I don't want to be like even more jittery. And it's getting cold, but whatever. It's soothing after going to the stupid doctor. I'm sick of doctors. Oh, gosh, I feel like I'm getting so old that I can't remember things. Anyway, I went to go grab my crystals and like I just totally lost where I was. Working from home. Oh, the foot cramps. Yeah. Yeah, not sleeping well, which is partly my own poor bedtime habits that I've had since I was like a teenager, which is my own thing. But I'm just not comfortable. I'm laying on my left side primarily. I did get, which I don't know if I've shown you before, I did get this new pillow. It's like a body pillow, but it goes up, over, and down. It's actually pretty cool. And the pillowcase that goes on it is, it says it's cooling, and it actually is cooling. I'm not sure what it's made out of, but if I'm like sweating or something, the material is cool. So it's not like it's cotton or flannel or something that makes you even more warm. So the hot flashes aren't keeping me up at night. I do have them still. They're just there. I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. Other than that, I can't think of like any other daily side effects that I'm having, except for like obviously right after I have the Lupron, or right after, you know, I've had the Zumeda. That was awful. But even the Lupron, it's not, they're not as severe, the side effects, and it's it doesn't last as long, which is good. And again, I'm like 5.5 months out now from surgery. So, yeah, so we'll switch gears now, like switch gears to why I didn't vlog for the month of January. I'm not blaming myself, I just didn't do it. But while trying to not think about cancer anymore, that's when life happens again, and just the ins and outs of things that happen every day. And I think I shared this once before, but I had a session with the oncology psychiatrist, and he said, when I said something like, I just want to leave 2021 behind me, you know, and he's like, he actually got kind of like, no, don't leave it behind you. Like, yes, you know, you don't want any of this, you know, the cancer's gone, it's out, it's whatever. But the lessons you've learned from the whole thing, like, don't forget those, because those are life lessons that I never would have ever learned in any other circumstance. And like, I just turned 50. So like, they're life lessons about me that I should have learned a long time ago, and I didn't. And unfortunately for me, it took having breast cancer to like, be like, psh, Jen, psh, you know, and really get it. And the biggest of which for me is prioritizing myself over other people, or over everything, like, which is hard for me because, you know, as a single mom, that's hard. You know, you want to prioritize your kids, but like, you know, if you're not healthy, you can't be there for anybody else. And it's hard when you just want to like help people all the time, but then you don't want to help people to the point that you're not helping yourself. Like you're staying up at night late thinking about someone who's going through a lot of crap, which is making me not sleep. And then it just snowballs because then, you know, I notice my heart rate starts going up. I bought this Amazon Halo for myself for Christmas. And it keeps track of my pulse and my steps and all that kind of stuff. It's like a Fitbit or an Apple Watch without looking like a Fitbit or an Apple Watch. It just looks like it's fashionable. At least I think it looks more fashionable than a Fitbit or an Apple Watch. It also, funnily, records snippets of your conversation and tells you like how your tone comes across to other people. Like it'll say, you know, at 11:06 you sounded amused, or at 5:02 you sounded stubborn. So it's funny, and I had to think back, like, what was I doing at 5:02 that I sounded stubborn or whatever. So it's interesting. But yeah, not forgetting the lessons that you've learned from all of it. And I've been having a hard time with that because, you know, COVID's still going on. I find myself dropping a lot more F-bombs and having a lot more, or lack of patience for people that I don't think are making rational choices about things. Yeah. But it's hard when it's like you have two people on your shoulder, you know, you have old Jen that was like the people pleaser, you know, let's drop the world for everybody else. And then you have the, you know, Jen who had breast cancer, who's like, screw everyone else, like focus on you and that's it. But then like I do that and then I'm like, but I don't want to be some snot and be mean and not be a good friend. So it's a really interesting balancing act, trying to incorporate the lessons that I've learned from having, you know, going through the surgery and everything. It's not just cancer, period. It's all of it. It's, you know, the not being able to make meals for myself and like, you know, just lots of things I couldn't do. And like, what did I do about it? And how were people around me and my relationships with other people? I've really separated myself from a lot of people. And I know, because I've been journaling about it too, you know, that I want to surround myself with people that make me feel, you know, where I feel loved and where I feel supported and empowered. And people that there's no room for that. You know, why would I want to keep someone in my life where I don't feel empowered around them? But then there you have certain people where there's an obligation. And I remember not too long ago where I even said, like, I don't feel obligated to do anything. And then, like, shit happens with people that are key people in your life. And it's hard because you want to stop life and be there for them. And sometimes you just can't. Somebody in my family has been in the hospital for a bit. And like old Jen would just like get up and go and see them and do whatever I can to take care of them. But the reality is it's a 6-7 hour drive to get there. And I don't have like, I can drive for like an hour without getting sore. And with COVID, you're not even allowed inside the hospitals there anyway. So it wouldn't even matter. But it's hard because I want to like stop my life and take care of them. And I can't do that because then I see that, you know, by having all my energy there, like I'm not focusing on me. And then I'll realize that, wait a minute, I'm working too much. That's another thing too. Like I'm working too many hours again. You know, I didn't want to go back to being this, you know, workaholic. That's not what that's not what I wanted. Like all the boundaries that I put into place, you know, they all just kind of seem to disappear come January. I don't know. And like, I don't want them to go away. So it's such a, it makes me like, I'm like picking at, like I have a friend of mine sent me these crystals. And I'm like, because it's such a hard balance to try to understand all of that. And like, which way am I supposed to be? I don't know how I'm supposed to be. And it makes me want to just like go nowhere, but be inside of my apartment, which is so not me because I'm an extroverted person. But I'm like, did cancer make me introverted? Like, what the heck? Anyway, so I've been reading. I'm not a reader. I finally finished that Seth Rogen book, but like, whatever. This book, The Art of Healing, I'm not endorsing anything, by the way. I've literally read like this much. That's it. But this was a book that was recommended to me from the woman from the head of the Council on Aging in town. When I got that bag of like goodies, whatever, she gave me a printout of the cover of this. So I mean, literally I've read 20 pages. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm more than happy to learn how to heal because it's not just, it says uncovering your inner wisdom and potential for self-healing. I mean, of course, I know I need other things besides myself to heal. The one I'm more intrigued by is this one. A guy I went to high school with had mentioned that he read this book and it was like a life changer for him when bad things happen to good people. I ask myself this like all the time. It's a pretty old book. Harold Kushner is a rabbi. I'm not Jewish, I'm Lutheran. Not that it matters, but like, yeah, I'm just curious because I have been getting, look, I have my cross on today. I haven't worn this in a while. I don't wear jewelry a lot anymore because it's just, I don't like things touching me, which I have to get over. But I have been more, you know, like in touch with my spiritual side since all this happened because I want answers. And I know that there just are none. One of my doctors just said, shit happens and should happen to you. And here's what we're going to do about it. You know, like you can't blame yourself for something. It's not like I did something wrong. Like shit happens. And then I look at my kitchen and I'm like, I have a frying pan that's nonstick. Did that give me cancer? You know, I made toast. It was in there too long. I'm like, oh, carcinogens, scrape it off. Did that give me cancer? I don't know. You could sit there all damn day. You know, there's people that like smoke their entire lives and never get cancer. So who the heck knows? Who knows? But then I go to my spiritual side to try to understand, like, I know I'm a good person. Why does shit have to happen to me? I don't know. Like, I feel like I've been handed a lot. Like, in life. And I want to understand why. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Name unavailable. Flomaton. What the heck is Flomaton? Anyway. I want, like, I know I can't have answers, but I'm curious just to hear other people's perspectives, and they're not thick books, other people's perspectives about, like, when things like this happen. And I think one like takeaway that I heard about when bad things happen to good people is that, I'm going to get all spiritual and Jesus for a second, but, you know, like God's out there, he's, you know, doing good, looking out for you, but, you know, the devil's still there, and it's not like God can always be the one to like win the fight, and, you know, evil's still there and evil still pops up. I don't know. I'll be interested to see about reading it, but like, I go in my room at like whatever time. I get tired super early. I'm up at like 7 o'clock every day on the nose, if not earlier, because I usually have to get up a little bit earlier, but I'm up like first thing. I'm up before it's light out, and that's not usually me. I used to be a night owl, and it could partially be because of the pandemic and stuff, that my schedule is just different. But I get tired really early at night. Like come dinner time, like around, I clean up stuff. It's 8 o'clock and I'm like, all right, I'm toast. And I sit on the couch and like, boom, I'm out. Like I'm now one of those people, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to assume anything because this is just me now. But yeah, I'm just trying to like figure out where I am, but not overanalyze at the same time. I just want to be like, I just want to have my coffee and I just want to chill. Like I still have my lights up, like Christmas is over, but these are like my winter lights. So I'm keeping them up to, have things be a little bit cheery and spruced up and wintry. And I'm just trying to figure out like the new Jen to be. And that's hard to sort out when you've been through something like this where, where it was life-threatening. One of my good friends sent me a text and she said, when people have gone through things where it's literally life-threatening, it's you've had to battle something where you're not sure if you're going to be here tomorrow, and that was me with surgery. I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen during surgery. I got all my ducks in a row with my will and all that stuff because I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen. And then it's nice, like, 5.5 months later that I'm here and I can be goofy with my kids and stuff. And I'm like, I'm just so, so grateful for that. And grateful to take every day for what it is. I mean, my gratitude, I have no problems with that. I'm much, much better about practicing gratitude. But what I do notice is like yesterday I went to go for a walk, not realizing it wasn't February 1st. So my steps didn't count towards my breast cancer fundraiser thing, but whatever. I went out for a walk and I'm like, okay, I'm going to start my walk because I never meditated yesterday. I haven't meditated in a bit. And I see a very clear pattern when I stop meditating in the morning. And literally it's like a 10-minute thing. And I'm like, why am I not taking 10 minutes out of my day to do this for me? It's 10 minutes for Pete's sake. I don't know. For the same reason why I wasn't taking, whatever, half hour to talk to you guys and gals, whatever. I don't know. But I can't overthink because that's just a spiral, I can't overthink. I have to just do. And when I've done what I can do, I tap out and I'm like, that's all I can do. I made cookies 3 days ago. They came out really good. I'm a good baker. They came out really good, but like the pans are still in my sink. I did other dishes, but it was a lot for me to clean all the other stuff. And I lifted my kitchen, if you have a KitchenAid mixer, you know how heavy they are. I lifted my KitchenAid mixer with both hands up from the bottom shelf in my cabinet up into, onto my kitchen counter. I could no way do that 2 months ago. No way. And I did. So I know I'm making progress. But then when I noticed that, like, I went out to go for a walk and I'm like, okay, I'm going to start my walk with 10 minutes of meditation. Even though I'm walking, I can meditate while I walk. And I got through like 2 minutes of it and my phone rang and then I never got back to it again. So I'm like, I prioritize everything else and I couldn't just finish the 10-minute meditation. Yeah, I could have, but I chose other people and not me. But that's not really true either because like I wanted to connect with friends and that's what pulled me the other direction. So it's like you have all these cups around you and your cup is like, the biggest cup you want to fill, but it's just a different way of looking at it now. It's how much of your energy do you want to put into all these different things. I find myself again too, I'm signing up for a lot of things. Like now I want to help everyone because look at all people that help me. And then I look at my calendar and I'm like, my calendar is filling up with stuff. I don't want to be on Zooms all the time. Why am I signing up for these things? I don't know. And why am I not signing up for other things? Like there's a painting, there's an Oriental, I know that's not like a PC term, but that's what it's called on the thing. It's like an Oriental art painting thing. And I wanted to sign up for that. And it said, like, you have to be in treatment for cancer to be part of that group. And I'm like, am I in treatment? I don't know. Like, I don't have chemo or radiation. Does that make me not in treatment? Oh my gosh. But then when I go to the doctor, even the orthopedic surgeon today, you know, he said something about like me being in treatment because I'm on other medication I have to consider because of my shoulder. So it's a weird place to be. That's the overall thing. It's a weird place to be right now. It's a weird place to be. It's very much like you're in the middle of stuff. And I have to honor that this 6 to 9 month phase or healing time, I have to just accept that time and just know that that's a thing. You know, I'm 5 months out. I think I should be able to do X, Y, and Z. Or I think I should be able to do like A through like S. But 6 to 9 months, like just stop, Jen, and give yourself the 6 to 9 months. Physically. And then what do I do yesterday? I order ice skates. I ordered ice skates. And one interesting thing that the orthopedic surgeon said to me, I love this, is like, you know, we're just sitting here chatting, having some coffee. Here, have some cold coffee with me. This is one of the things I like about vlogs. I may be getting introverted, but it's like we're chatting. Hi, I'm Jen. He mentioned something about he had a patient that they slipped on ice or something and fell. Like after having frozen shoulder, like they had frozen shoulder, slipped on ice, no pun intended, and fell and instinctively put their arm out to catch themselves. And while it hurt like shit for like a week, it also tore apart all those friggin' webs that were making things so stiff. So while it sucked for the week, it actually helped overall, because after that happened, they were able to move their arm in ways they weren't able to move it before. And he's like not condoning, like intentionally falling to, you know, to make things happen. But he's like, you know, if you had a tear in your shoulder, like, you know, tearing stuff right now is not such a horrible thing, because you want to loosen up stuff that's in there, you know. That's not why I ordered the ice skates, because I ordered those before and I just went to the orthopedic guy today. But I ordered the ice skates because it's winter time and it's like New England and I want to be active. And honestly, walking around when there's a big snowstorm is tough around where I am, because not everything is plowed, and if things are icy with boots, that's hard. Icy with ice skates is not so much. And I feel very free, like ice skating. I just like how it feels, and it's a great workout too. One thing I will mention too, with the Lupron, I am not getting PMSy side effects really as much anymore. Like if I do feel like crying for no reason, it lasts like a day, maybe 2, and that's it. I'm not getting bloated before, knock on fake wood. I'm not getting bloated. I'm not getting those stabbing pains anymore. And what was crazy was like, my body is shaped so differently. I don't know if that's cancer related, if that's Lupron related, if that's, you know, I'm getting pushed into menopause, so your whole body changes. My clothes, like, all just don't fit me right. These are all like new things that I bought. But it's not like I'm fat. It's, if anything, like I'm pleasantly surprised with the amount of bloating I don't have. And I wonder if that's because of the hormonal part of being pushed into menopause, that like, I don't know, maybe you don't have bloating anymore because you're not going through a cycle anymore. And just quick, like I haven't had a cycle since my first Lupron injection, which I can't even think how far back that was, but you can look back at the vlogs for that. Anywho, so I'm getting on to 45 minutes here, and I need to get to work and finish my lukewarm coffee. But I'm glad that I'm here to talk to you all. I'm glad to be able to give back in the way of just sharing all of this stuff, because I've had people reach out to me, unfortunately, that have said that they've had loved ones that were just recently diagnosed with breast cancer, and what can they do to help. And you know, it's different. And honestly, like, it's been so long for me that I can't remember certain things about what I needed at what time. So I don't do it as a like, oh, look at vlog number 72, whatever. You know, I just say like, here's the channel, and take a look back through. And, you know, if you want to know what it's like when you wake up the day after surgery, oh my word, then go to that vlog, you know, and see what you need for that time. That's crazy. How many phone calls have I gotten? This is just like more fodder for getting rid of my landline. Yeah, so that's where I am right now, just trying to, you know, figure stuff out. And I just need to step away from like hyper analyzing, which is good for me, and just be like, focus on the meditating. I'm still eating right. My GI system has been fine. The coffee has been wonderful for that. I'm still doing like mindless things. Like, I have a puzzle sitting out. I've never done so many puzzles, but it's a nice thing to do when you just want to not think about things. But like, taking that time for me, and even with the steps, like, if I don't get to 300,000 steps in February, then I don't get to 300,000 steps in February. I'm still doing it for a good cause, and I thank the people that are donating to the fundraiser. And I will do 300,000 steps, but it might not be until like March or something. And that's okay, because I need to honor my body and what I can and can't do. Yeah, so that's where I am. It's kind of nice to be back here. And yeah, with I guess my hair is growing, and I did spray my roots this morning, so I'm feeling a bit more normal. But I don't want to go back to too normal of normal Jen from before, because that's not who I am anymore. And yeah, I gotta enjoy the ride with figuring out the boundaries of new Jen and sticking to them. All right, so if I don't vlog before Valentine's Day, the pandemic is a great time for Valentine's Day, because you don't have to worry about partners. I mean, if you're single. Anyhow, I already bought myself chocolates as a gift to myself. Anyhow, if I'm not on here before Valentine's Day, happy Valentine's Day. And whether or not you have a partner or a Valentine or whatever or not, the biggest person you have to love is yourself. You know, like, go and buy yourself some freaking chocolates. Buy yourself a heart, you know, because like, you've got to love yourself, and you've got to take care of yourself. Yeah, the biggest person to love is you. And I don't say that as a, you know, being a narcissist kind of thing, but you've got to love yourself. You've got to take care of yourself. So if there's anyone to love for Valentine's Day, it's you. So if you wake up Valentine's Day morning and you're like, well, boyfriend, whatever, or girlfriend, or whatever, you know, you have your best friend, which is you. So go do something nice for you for Valentine's Day, for the best person to love, yourself. Bye, everyone.